Hello once again, and let's solve this question that I left previously in the last video that I made tonight. We're going to use here once again similarities between right angle triangles in order to find a missing side such as the radius or the height. But the beauty of this question that we are going to find the missing side in terms of the other one. So lots of algebra is involved in here. Let's see how's that going to be. So an inverted cone, a cone that is brought upside down of height 12, and once again the height is the distance from vertex C up to the circular base of the cone, and perpendicular on it is 12 centimeter. And base of radius 6 centimeters. So the radius, which is the distance from the center of the circular base of the cone to the circumference, is actually equal to 6 centimeters. It contains 20 centimeter cubic of water. Calculate the depth of water. So the depth of water, which means the height, which is of the small cone, which is the distance from vertex C down to the circular base of the small cone, which represents the water in this question, measured from the vertex. So if you look at the right side of the drawing, if you look closely, you're gonna find two right angle triangles, a big one, and within the big one there is a small one. And if we tend to name them, there is triangle ABC, and always remember that the alphabet of the 90-degree angle is actually placed in the middle when we name the triangle. So we either say triangle ABC or triangle CBA. And the small triangle is EDC. D is the 90-degree angle. So EDC or CDE. So based on similarity between the two right angle triangles ABC and CDE, let's name one given side in this triangle and the similar side to it from the other triangle as following. So triangle ABC and triangle CDE. So side AB, which is the radius, is equal to 6 centimeter. And DE is actually unknown, so we're gonna call it as R small. So DE is R small. It is easier to deal with the unknown using one alphabet than using DE. So that's why we're going to name it R. And side BC, which is the height in the big triangle, which is equal to 12, is the similar side to it in triangle CDE is side CD, which is equal to H. So we're gonna give it one alphabet as H. Now, we're going to form, based on similarity, we're going to form two equal fractions. So side AB over the similar side to it from the other triangle, which is side DE, is equal to side BC from triangle ABC over the similar side to it from triangle CDE. So basically it's going to be 6 over R is equal to 12 over H as following. And if you cross multiply, and since they're asking for the depth of water, so we're going to cross multiply. So H or R is gonna be equal to, so R is multiplied by 12, so the 12 is gonna go down as the denominator. the other two numbers, or the number and the alphabet H, are gonna go up multiplied by each other. Accordingly, if we simplify it, the 6 is gonna be cancelled with the 12, so it's gonna be 6 over 2. So R is equal to H over 2. So if you see, the difference in this question is that R is written in terms of H. R is written in terms of H. So we wrote R as an expression in terms of H. So this is R. Now, so based on the similarity, we found R as an expression in terms of H. Now we're going to write the formula of finding the volume of a cone. So the volume of the cone to the right of this screen is 3rd pi r squared H. So H is unknown, and R as an expression in terms of H, it's going to be H over 2. And the volume which is given to me in the question, it contains water of volume 20 centimeter cubic. So if we write the general formula here, we're going to substitute the volume of the cone as 20 is equal to 3rd times pi times r squared. And instead of r, we're going to say h over 2 to the power of 2 times h, which is going to be as following. What did we do in here? If you look at it, we have an equation with one unknown. So that's why we found R in terms of H. Because if we kept the R and the H, there are gonna be two unknowns with one equation, and that's cannot be solved. But in here, since we wrote R in terms of H, and then we substituted the expression of R in this equation, so we have one unknown, which is H, one equation, and we can solve it and find H. Accordingly, if H over 2 times H over 2, right? So that's what it means. H over 2 squared, it means H over 2 times H over 2. So if we have two fractions, numerator times, and we're multiplying the two fractions. So numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. So H times H is H squared. When we are multiplying expressions, we multiply the coefficient. So the coefficient is 1. So 1 times 1 is 1. And then we add the powers. So it's going to be H times H. The power is 1, 1. So if we add them, it's going to be 1 plus 1, which is 2. So H squared over, so numerator times the numerator, and then denominator times denominator, which is 2 times 2, and it's 4. So that's how it turned into H squared over 4. Now, let's simplify it a little bit further. So it's going to be 1 times pi times h squared times h. Why? Because pi, it means pi over 1. And the black h is going to be h over 1. And again, if we're multiplying fractions, numerators times numerators, denominators times denominators. So 1 times pi is pi. Pi times h squared is pi h squared. Pi h squared times h, it's going to be pi h cubic. Why? Because pi is the coefficient of the red h squared, and the coefficient of the black h is 1. So pi times 1 is pi. And then we add the powers. So 2 plus 1 is 3. So that's why it's pi times h to the power of 3. And if you go to the denominators, 3 times, remember, pi over 1. So 3 times 1 is 3. Then 3 times 4 is 12. And remember, h, the black h, is h over 1. So 12 times 1 is going to be 12. So that's how it became 12h cubic over 12. Now you are going to get rid of the denominator, which is 12. So you're going to multiply the whole equation by 12, or each side of the equation by 12. So it's going to be 20 times 12, and on the right side the 12s are gone, so the pi h cubic is left on the right side as following. And remember, we're finding h, so we're going to divide all by pi as following. Don't use the calculator. Don't use not yet. Always try to show as many of your steps as you can and leave the use of calculator until the very end. Remember, we're not finding h cubic, we're finding 1h. So that's why we're going to say cubic root of 12 times 20 over pi, which is going to be as following. So cubic root of 20 times 12 over pi, and this is going to give me the 1h, which is 4.24 centimeter, and this answer is correct to 3 significant figures. Let's summarize once again what we did in this question. So, using similarity between right angle triangle in the cone, we wrote r in terms of h. We wrote r as an expression in terms of h. And then we substituted the value of r and h and the given value of the volume in the general formula of finding the volume of the cone. And then we applied opposite operations after simplifying, or after bringing the equation into its simplest form. We started applying opposite operations. So we multiplied here by 12 to get rid of the denominator, and then we divided by pi, and then we cubed root each side to find the 1h. And we rounded our final answer to 3 significant figures. Please watch this video and the previous one until you master finding a missing side in the cone, and to finally calculate the volume of it. I'm gonna say thank you so much for watching and sharing the link of this video, and for subscribing to my YouTube channel.